It is cuffing season, folks. That AI video was put out by California Governor Gavin Newsom, and I love the way he is mocking and taunting this criminal regime. You know, the Trump regime posted on their social media platform, "We heard it's cuffing season," and they showed themselves torturing migrants. So Governor Newsom responded by posting his own cuffing season video showing who the real criminals are, who the real felons are, who the war criminals are: Donald Trump, Stephen Miller, and Pete Hegseth. And I love that Gavin Newsom just goes all in on mocking this despicable regime, because look at what the White House was posting yesterday alone. They posted one video saying it's cuffing season, where it showed the Border Patrol and ICE agents torturing migrants. Then they did a post of a photo of the Democratic leader Hakeem Jeffries as an elf, and they say Christmas elf, Hakeem Jeffries elf. Then Donald Trump posted on the Instagram account, "Most influential man in Europe." If by influential you mean an individual who's working with Vladimir Putin to destroy Europe, then perhaps the worst scourge ever in Europe and the United States of America, and frankly, the world. You have the White House posting this photo: "Here illegally, the Deportation Express." And you've got so many people responding to Trump's social media with comments like, "This makes me sick. What the hell are we doing? Please effing stop this madness." What another shameful White House post. This is what's going on the White House website. How embarrassing. And by the way, you just look at things that don't even get reported that much about what this regime is doing. Like yesterday, we learned from a court filing that the Trump regime put out a 6-page list of banned words for the federal Head Start program. You know, the Head Start program for people of lower income to help their children get access to food and early education. You know, the important Head Start program. Well, you're not allowed to use the words disability, race, women, trauma, Gulf of Mexico, amongst a number of other words, discrimination, diverse backgrounds, expression, fostering inclusivity, bias, biologically. These are words that are banned from Head Start. Like, seriously, like, what the hell are we doing as a country here? I know what we're doing. We are doing what the grifter in chief, the felon, the sexual abuser has done his whole life: be an utter pathetic loser. I mean, just take a look at some of the other posts that they were making on his social media platform, where he's selling his gold card. This is real, okay? You would think this is from some sort of like Ponzi scheme thing, but it is. This is what Trump's post was from his official account. "The United States government's Trump's gold card is here today. A direct path to citizenship for all qualified, vetted people. So exciting. Our great American companies can finally keep their invaluable talent. Live site opens in 30 minutes. And you go to this website. This is the site. "The Trump Gold Card. Unlock life in America." Unlock life in America. Then you look at it, and if you are an individual, you have to pay $1 million, and corporations can pay $5 million to sponsor people and make them citizens. And just to remind you the type of people Trump wants as citizens: Russian oligarchs. This is what Donald Trump said back in February when he talked about the gold card. And his goal was to bring in the Russian oligarchs and wealthy, because everything is for sale in the United States of America. Donald Trump has took our entire history, our leadership in the world, and just sold it all off for the highest bidder who wants to destroy the United States of America. Here's what Donald Trump said back in February. You can see for yourself. Play this clip.
Would a Russian oligarch be eligible for a gold card?
Yeah, possibly. Hey, I know some Russian oligarchs that are very nice people. It's possible.
And folks, it's not just California Governor Gavin Newsom who's mocking Donald Trump relentlessly and ruthlessly. I'm glad that finally the media is picking up onto Donald Trump's deteriorating mental and physical health, and that it is not normal that Donald Trump keeps bragging about how he gets cognitive exams all of the time. Let's take a look at Deadline, MSNBC's MS Now. This is a beautiful compilation that they created. Play this clip.
The next day they'll say, he's crazy. The next day they'll say, oh, he's incompetent. The next day they'll say, this is one of the dumbest human beings ever. And that wasn't working, but I didn't like that one as much. I mean, that was bad. So I asked Doc Ronnie. I love Doc Ronnie. But I said, what do you think about a cognitive test, Ronnie? And he said, sir, there is a test. It's called the X test. They're really aptitude tests, I guess, in a certain way, but they're cognitive tests. The first couple of questions are easy. A tiger, an elephant, a giraffe, a tiger, or this, or that, a whale. Which one is the whale? A chair, a hat, a badge, a necklace. And then you get to the end questions, and very few people could answer those questions. Person, woman, man, camera, TV. They say, that's amazing. How did you do that? I aced it twice. I aced it. I aced it. I aced it. I aced both of them, I'm very proud to say, meaning I got it all right. Aced it. Aced it means I got every single question right. I aced it, every question right. And I aced it. I got a perfect mark, which you would be incapable of doing. I've taken the cognitive test, I think, 4 times, and I've got nothing wrong. That's what the American people want.
Describing the early screen for dementia as the standard he has passed 4 times in his telling, or last night he said it was only 3. So the 2 answers he's given us are 3 and 4 times he's been administered an early screening test for dementia that he seems to brag about passing the way one would brag about, I don't know, the LSAT. The not so encouraging nature of forgetting how many times he's even taken the cognitive test.
Now, let's talk about what's going on with our economy, right? On the one hand, you have Donald Trump lying about the economy, saying that things are affordable, we're in a golden age, things have never been better, affordability is a hoax. And then Donald Trump tried to say a sentence about the Fed chair, Jerome Powell, who Trump appointed, by the way, Republican Trump appointee Jerome Powell. Trump referred to him yesterday as a deadhead Fed hair. Deadhead Fed hair. It's like a Dr. Seuss. Like, what are we even talking about here? Play this clip.
3 and 4. We're scheduled to be at 4%, which is pretty amazing because we have a deadhead Fed hair. I mean, this guy, the head of the Federal Reserve is a stiff.
Let's show you what was really going down with the economy. But first, I want to remind you, make sure you hit subscribe to this YouTube channel. We are on our way to 6 million subscribers. You know, we're under attack by the Trump regime here at the MeidasTouch Network. They want this YouTube channel shut down. So please, if you can, hit subscribe. You may think you're subscribed, but you may not actually be subscribed. So double check. So here's what Jerome Powell said. The economy lost an average of 20,000 jobs each month from April to September. Play this clip.
Why did we move today? I would say point to a couple of things. First of all, gradual cooling in the labor market has continued. Unemployment is now up 0.3 from June through September. Payroll jobs averaging 40,000 per month since April. We think there's an overstatement in these numbers by about 60,000. So that would be negative 20,000 per month.
In the near term, the risks to inflations are up and the risks to employment are on the downside. These are not good data, okay? This is not good data. Play this clip.
In the near term, risks to inflation are tilted to the upside and risks to employment to the downside. A challenging situation. There is no risk-free path for policy as we navigate this tension between our employment and inflation goals.
Inflation is surging, PCE rising. Play this clip.
Total PCE prices rose 2.8% over the 12 months ending in September. And excluding the volatile food and energy categories, core PCE prices also rose 2.8%. These readings are higher than earlier in the year as inflation for goods has picked up, reflecting the effects of tariffs.
Then the labor market report. Here, play this clip.
The official report on the labor market for September, the most recent release, showed that the unemployment rate continued to edge up, reaching 4.4%, and that job gains had slowed significantly since earlier in the year.
But what the Trump regime continues to just do is lie, and then they have their right-wing lying extremist MAGA influencers like this guy, Eric Dougherty, and he posts, holy smokes, The White House just confirmed that the price of cars will decline by $1,000 to $2,000 on average because Trump is revoking the green new scam regulations on vehicles. This is huge for affordability. They're just a bunch of con artists, these people. Want to know the real facts? The average new car price hit $50,000. The average monthly car payment is $749. These are record highs. And you know, if you're out there buying cars, you can afford one. If you're paying rent, if you can afford it, if you're at the grocery store, if you can afford it, you know that prices are much higher right now. It's not a debatable thing. You know, Donald Trump's giving bailouts to farmers not because they're doing great because of the tariffs, but because he's destroying their lives because of the tariffs. So take a look at these headlines. As Carl Quintanilla writes, rough day for the farm beat. Missouri farmers say Donald Trump's bailout won't fix the harm from tariffs. Not a lot of optimism. That's from the St. Louis Post-Dispatch. How about the Financial Times? Donald Trump's tariffs intensify strain on U.S. farmers. John Deere warns. In other words, the data is not good, and Donald Trump can try to fraud his way out of it, but things are not looking good there. Now, I just want to show you this as well because this, to me, sums up the Trump regime perfectly and Donald Trump's deteriorating physical and mental state. Like, you all know that back on December 3rd, it's undisputed. Donald Trump said he would release the video footage of the second strike on September 2nd from the boat, the fishing boat that was going east, that Trump said had drugs on it, where the United States government killed everybody on it. There were 2 survivors. Then 45 minutes later, while these survivors were in distress, this boat was never going to the U.S. It was going east to Suriname, another country, not the U.S. These people were survivors. They were begging for their lives, and then the U.S. military just killed them. Right? Trump said we would release the video. He said it. And now he's like, no, we're not releasing the video. And so he was asked by a reporter from CNN, so why isn't Hegseth releasing the video? You promised it would be released. And then Donald Trump's like, I thought that issue was dead. Are you CNN? Are you fake news? Are you CNN? Then he just starts yelling at the reporter, hiding his medical records, hiding the Epstein files, hiding this video. Everything with this regime is hide, cover up, cover up, cover up. Here, play this clip.
Mr. President, has Secretary Hegseth told you why he hasn't released the video of the second strike?
No, he hasn't told me. I thought that issue was dead. You're surprised you bring it up. You must be CNN.
Lawmakers are still
Are you
talking
CNN?
about it on the Hill.
Are you CNN?
I am with CNN.
Oh, gee, I'm shocked to find out.
But lawmakers are still talking about it on the Hill.
Well, I'll tell you, I don't know about lawmakers. Which lawmakers you're talking about?
Most of the Democrats have been talking about trying to release
I
it.
mean, the people that you work for, the Democrats? You know you work for the Democrats, don't you? You're basically an arm of the Democrat Party. Thank you very much, everybody. I appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you very much.
And finally, let me play us out with what Senator Bernie Sanders says. Now, like me, Senator Bernie Sanders prefers single-payer Medicare for all over Obamacare. But Obamacare, I believe, did a lot of important things that were good versus what existed before Obamacare. To me, I want single-payer Medicare for all, but Obamacare with subsidies are needed. Otherwise, people are going to lose their health care. If we go back to what existed before Obamacare, people would die. They'd be discriminated on the basis of pre-existing conditions. Obamacare has flaws, but it is popular because people can get their health care, and otherwise they won't, and they'll die. This is real stuff. Now, the Trump regime has said there's a plan, they're coming up with a plan. They don't have one. So now you have some Republican Congress members who are doing a discharge petition to try to get this to the floor because MAGA Mike doesn't want to vote on this and Trump doesn't want to vote on this. But these Republican Congress members are seeing that they're going to lose the election. They're going to lose the midterms. They think very selfishly for themselves. Yes, you're going to kill your constituents is what you're going to do. So yes, you will lose because you're a killer. You're going to kill your constituents. So they're doing the discharge petition the way that Epstein discharge petition made its way to the floor to go around MAGA Mike. But look, Bernie Sanders, the point I was making, Bernie Sanders, like me, wants Medicare for all, but he recognizes, like I do, we need to extend these Affordable Care Act subsidies now. And then we can, if you want to come up with a better plan, come up with one. But I want to put single payer Medicare for all before the people. And we know that Trump and MAGA don't want that. They want to just defraud the American people and say, oh, we've got a better plan, but not doing anything. Let's play us out with what Senator Bernie Sanders said here. Play this clip.
Well, their problem is, and there are some Republicans who certainly agree with you and want to see the ACA tax credits extended for a year, 2 years, 3 years. The problem that they have is that these guys really do not believe in government intervention in healthcare at all. We, as you know, are the only major country on earth not to guarantee health care to all people. Every other major country has national health care programs which are far more cost-effective than ours. But these guys have hated Medicare from the beginning, Medicaid, and the Affordable Care Act. And it is very hard for them to continue to support something like the ACA. Now, my own view is I strongly believe we've got to extend these tax credits. We cannot allow people to see a doubling in their premiums or a tripling in some cases. That is outrageous. But that ain't good enough. We have got to join every other major country on earth, guarantee health care to all people, and we got to pass a Medicare for all single-payer program. So it's not good enough in health care to just defend the status quo. We've got to do what other countries do and guarantee health care to all.
Wise words. Wise words. Anyway, thanks for watching. Hit subscribe. Let's get to 6 million. We appreciate you so much.
Thanks for watching. Be sure to add the MeidasTouch podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts for new updates every single day.